Cloud code has been exploding in popularity in recent months, and for good reason. It has dissolved the line between technical and non-technical people when it comes to developing software and automating workflows. We are in the middle of a genuine paradigm shift, and the people who are learning cloud code early are gaining an edge while everyone else risks falling behind. So in this video, I'll show you how to set up cloud code on your machine step by step, how to use it in a way that is far more powerful and intuitive than just the CLI alone. Then we'll look at the key commands and settings that are worth knowing, and finally we'll put all of it into practice by building a working app from scratch. This is the only video you'll need to get started with cloud code the right way. So if you're serious about staying ahead, let's get into it. So let's first talk about what the difference between cloud code and the cloud that we use on the desktop app is, and the differences are probably smaller than you think, and they all actually just come down to the type of tools that they are given access to and also the layer that they live in within our computer. In the case of the cloud that we normally use, it lives within the application layer, namely the cloud desktop app, and in the case of cloud code, it lives directly within our terminal, so it has access to our computer directly. And the second one I just mentioned are the tools that they have access to, and you can see here the type of tools that cloud code have access to within our terminal, such as reading files, writing and modifying code, running terminal commands, navigating our code base, and whatnot. And this is obviously just a snippet of whatever tools they have access to, right? And to the right here, you can see a beautiful analogy that actually captures the essence of the difference. It says Cloud is like a really smart person you can talk to, while cloud code is that same person, but now they are sitting at your computer with a keyboard, actually able to open files and write code themselves. All right, so right now I'm in Cloud Code's documentation. This is where I'm going to be installing it into my computer, and you can also follow along. I'll be leaving a link to this documentation down in the description below. Now, when we are in here, you can see that the first tab for installation is the native install, which is also what's recommended. And depending upon the operating system that you're using, you can select any of these commands that you can later run in your command line interface. And in my case, since I'm using Windows, I'm going to go ahead and copy this command here. In your case, if you use Mac OS, no problem. You can just copy this and also paste it in your command line. But now that I copied mine, I'm just going to go ahead and spin up a CLI and just go ahead and paste it in and click on enter. Alright, so Cloud Code is successfully installed, but with some setup notes, and this is usually only for Windows users. So if you're also a Windows user, you can follow along with me. This is about how the app is successfully installed, but it doesn't yet exist in our environment variable. So the thing we'll have to do is we'll have to just go ahead and copy this directory path here, and then once we do that, head over to your environment variables, click on it. And as per stated in the instructions here, just head over to environment variables, and then in the user variables section, click on path and then click on edit. Once you're here, just click on new and paste in the path you just copied and click on OK. And once you do that, you should have Cloud successfully installed with this problem here also being resolved. And what I'm going to do is to confirm this, I'm just going to click on Cloud to see if it actually successfully runs. All right, so it actually didn't run. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to restart the terminal. This should hopefully fix the problem. All right, let me try it again. And you can see that restarting the terminal did the trick. And you can see that in my case, it says, welcome back, Mahmoud. I tried to actually delete all my information, but somehow it didn't. But it also does say that I'm not logged in. So the next thing we're going to do here is actually to authenticate. And for that, I'm going to type in login. But in your case, it's probably going to automatically prompt it anyway. And you can see here that we have 3 different ways to authenticate. The first one is through Cloud account with subscriptions, which is what I use and also what I heavily recommend. Another one is the Anthropic console account, which uses your API key and bills you per usage. And the third one is through third-party platforms such as Amazon Bedrock, Microsoft Foundry, or Vertex AI, as you can see. In my case, I'm just going to go ahead and click on Cloud account with subscription. And when you do that, it is going to pop up a window in the browser. And here I'm going to click on authorize. And with that, I'm successfully authenticated. And if I head back to my Claude Code. You can see that it also states it here. So at this point, we have Claude Code successfully installed in our computer and we can start using it. But before we continue working with Claude Code, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to download a code editor, which is also where we'll interact with Claude Code from, and it also makes it way more easier to manage our source code. The code editor that I'm going to download in this video, which is also my favorite, is VS Code, but there are also other immensely popular ones such as Anti-Gravity and also Cursor, which you guys have definitely heard of. And in my case, because I'm using Windows, I'm going to download it for Windows, but you also can download it for Mac if you use that. All right, so now it's done downloading and I'm gonna go ahead and install it real quick. All right, so there you have it. The installation is complete, and I also set it to launch Visual Studio Code as soon as I click finish, so it should pop it open. All right, so at this point, we have a code editor and Claude Code installed on our computer. The next thing we are going to look at is how we can interact with Claude Code through our code editor here. And for that, you can just head over to the three horizontal lines here and then hover over terminal and click on new terminal. This is going to spin up a new PowerShell instance. And the way we can start a conversation is simply by typing in Claude as we did within the CLI earlier. And you can see here that the first thing it says is whether or not we trust this folder. I'm going to say yes. And with that, we can now directly interact with Claude Code through our editor. And now let's look at some of the useful commands that you can use to get up to speed with Claude Code. The first one is the init command. This basically tells Claude Code to analyze the code base. And as you can imagine, this is for when you already have a project and you are running Claude Code for the first time within that project. It tells Claude Code to analyze the entire code base, understand the architecture, the convention, the code style, and everything, and then store it within a file called cloud.md. The content within this file gets sent to Claude Code on every message that we send it, and this allows Claude Code to work more efficiently because it basically has context of the design of the app, knowing where certain codes live and what kind of commands that it can run within that, instead of having to always look for it from scratch. Now, that's the first command. Then second command is the usage command. In this command, you can actually see how much usage you have left. And there are two kinds of usages. The first one is the current session, which resets every 5 hours. So you have a limit per 5 hours basis. And the second one is the weekly limit, which resets every week. And as you can imagine, the weekly limit is obviously more than the 5 hourly limit. Now I'm going to click on escape to cancel this, and I'm going to continue with the next command. And the next command is the context command. This allows you to see how Claude Code is utilizing the current context limit that it has, which is 200K, and you can see that 13K of the 200K is now in use. And below here you can also see the allocation of it: 3.5K tokens for the system prompt, 8.8K tokens for the system tools, and so on. So this is how you can basically check your context. The next command we have is the clear command. This basically just clears the entire conversation history, which is useful when you want to start a new conversation and work on a new task. And another very useful command you can use is the compact command. And the way this works is it also clears the conversation history, but instead of clearing everything, it also keeps a summary of what the current conversation history is about. This allows you to, remove redundant information when you have been working on a task for very long, which as a result leads to Claude Code using less tokens by being more efficient and also less likely to hallucinate. Next, let's look at some settings that we can cycle through, and to do that, we can press on Shift and Tab, and the first thing that pops up is Accept Edits On. And what this is about is that usually when you run Claude Code by default, it always asks permissions for every kind of changes that it makes. So this allows it to actually write and modify files without asking permission, but it will still ask for our permission before running any terminal commands. The next setting that we have here is the plan mode, which comes in very handy when asking Claude to build something that is significant. It could be basically building a new app or building an entirely new feature which requires multiple different steps. And the way this works is Claude doesn't actually make any changes, but first it comes up with a plan, it presents the plan to you, and it asks for your confirmation. You can either approve of the plan or ask it to refine it further until you are basically happy, which is only when it starts implementing. By the way, you don't have to worry about memorizing all this. I have a cheat sheet prepared for you, which you can find the link to down in the description below. And if you insist on reciprocating though, maybe you can just subscribe to the channel or leave a like on this video. But let's continue. All right, so we just looked at how we can interact with Claude Code directly within our code editor through the CLI. But as I also mentioned at the beginning of the video, interacting with Claude Code through the CLI is not an ideal experience. For starters, you can't even share with it screenshots, which is just one of the many drawbacks of using a CLI to interact or use Claude Code. And the way we can overcome this is by downloading an extension. And the way you can do this is by heading over to the extensions tab in your code editor and just search for Claude Code. And once you do, you should be able to see it in the results. And what you're going to do then is click on it and then install. And once you're done installing, we'll have to actually restart our code editor for it to take effect. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so you can see that indeed Claude Code is now available within my editor, and you can see that from here. I'll just click on Claude Code and it's going to open a new tab. For those of you who didn't see this, who can't see this, what you can do is if you're on Windows, you can just click on Control-Shift-P and then type in Claude Code and you should see open a new tab. However, if you use Mac, you'll just have to do Command-Shift-P, which should also lead you down the same exact path. And once you do that, you can just click on open a new tab and this is what you should be able to see. So with this, we are now able to interact with Claude Code directly through this extension. And the first thing I want to show you is our ability to share with it screenshots. And I'm going to demonstrate it by just pasting in the screenshot that I took. So there you go. And all the other settings, all the other commands that I just showed you earlier still apply here as well. You have usage, and in this case you have a better UI that you can see it from, and things like clear is also available here with just a slightly different wording, which is clear conversation in this case, but compact remains the exact same. And you can also cycle through settings in the exact same way by pressing shift and tab. As you can see here, edit automatically. Then we have plan mode. So nothing really changes in the way that we use it, except that we now have a much better user experience. Now, the last setting I want to talk about before we move into actually building something with Claude Code is what power users usually always turn on, and it is the option to bypass all permissions. But of course, I want to emphasize on using it at your own discretion, because there has been apparently reports about people getting their entire code base or even operating system being deleted by Claude Code. I'm not sure of how real that is, but personally, I have never experienced anything as such. So that is why I always use it. Now, to turn that on, what you'll have to do is you'll have to head over to the settings by clicking on the gear icon here and then hover over settings. And once you are here, just type in Claude Code. And it's going to appear in my case as the first item in the list. It says allow dangerously skip permissions. Once you enable this, this is now going to be added to the list of options you can cycle through using Shift Tab. But I also usually use it as my default option, right? So by default, whenever I turn on Claude Code, it's always bypassing permissions. And to show this to you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the current instances here. And then I'm going to click on Control-Shift-P and click on open in a new tab. And you can see that the first option that it starts with is the bypass permissions. And by using the usual Shift Tab method, I can cycle through it as normal. But now we just have this as one of the options. To me, it gets overwhelmingly annoying when Claude Code keeps on asking me permissions for the changes that it is making. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, we can finally build an application to see Claude Code in action. And because I don't want to waste any of your time, I already have a prompt ready for this. And it is for a habit tracker app. And you can see we're saying, hi, I want to build a habit tracker app with the following features. Habit management, allow users to create, update, and delete habits. Each habit can be assigned to day, night, or both. Then we got daily checklist, display habits in 2 sections, day and night. allow users to check off habits each day. So the habits list gets reset every day. Then we have streak tracking, track individual streaks for each habit, then track an overall streak when all habits for the day are completed. Then we have calendar and statistics, include a calendar view that shows habit completion history, provide overall statistics and progress insights. The app should be simple, intuitive, focused on daily consistency, okay? And as I said, usually I use bypass permissions, but in this case, because we are building a new app, I wanted to actually first come up with a plan for it before it starts building anything. And for that, I switched into plan mode. Now that we have this prompt ready, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on enter. And when we do that, it is going to start working. All right, so now it's prompting us with some questions, and you can see that the first question it's asking us is what platform should the app target, and we can pick from one of these here. I'm just gonna go with web app, and the other questions it's asking is related to storage, and I'm gonna just pick local for this since we are building a very simple app. So now I'm gonna click on submit answers, and it should be able to continue coming up with its development plan. All right, so it got a plan ready and automatically opened it up for us to review. So the name is Habit Tracker App Implementation Plan. This is the context. This is the data model plan, and then the local storage schema, streak algorithm. It even came out with the algorithm in which it's going to use deciding how the streak works. And then we got the file structure. And finally, it shows us its implementation steps, right? In this case, I'm just gonna go back and click on yes and auto accept. But if I didn't like the plan, I could have just came into this input field and tell it exactly what to change. But in this case, I'm just gonna go and click on yes and auto accept so that it can actually start implementing the project. All right, so it started implementing the changes, and you can see that it already started asking me for permissions while it's still on the first step, but I'm just gonna go ahead and click on yes. And to prevent it from asking me permissions for further changes, I'm just gonna shift it to bypass permissions so that it can start freely doing whatever it wants. All right, so it has just finished working on the task and the application seems to be ready. It took around 10 minutes for it to do this entire thing, from coming up with the plan and building the habit tracker. And you can see that it says the project location is in the following directory. And for us to run, we need to go into that directory and then run the following command. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy the project location. And then once we're done doing that, we'll just click on open folder. And in here, you can paste in the directory, then click on select folder. Then I'm going to start a new terminal and then paste in the command that Claude Code told us to. And once I do that, we should be able to actually start our app, which I can go to by clicking on this hyperlink here. And you can see that we actually have an app in place exactly the way we told it to do so. And for this, I'm going to try creating a habit for fun. I'm going to call it reading, and then another one for writing. And this time for the period, I'm going to select day and night. And as for the color, I'll just pick one of these here. And I'm actually going to try to checking them out of the list. I'm going to click on reading, then writing for morning, and also for evening. Seems to be working great. Now in calendar, we can also see the things we did, and we have stats. In here, we can see our current streak, longest streak, full days, which is pretty cool. And yeah, as you can see, that's how simple it is now to build applications in a single prompt with Claude Code, which is super cool. But yeah, that's it with the video. I hope you enjoyed it and that this was helpful for you in getting started with Claude Code the right way. And if you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like on this video. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, of which I'm gonna be uploading plenty of, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I also own a school community where I help you become the top 1% of AI users. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description below for that as well. But with that said, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.